All right, so I am sitting here with the Cukusin XP200. There seems to be a scarcity of reviews on YouTube about this motor. Perhaps I'm a pioneer, I don't know. I have my little Hankai sitting here. This is my Hankai 4 horsepower motor. This is the Cukusin 7.5 horsepower air-cooled motor. I wanted a little more pick-me-up in my 12-foot John boat. Like I said, though, there's not a whole lot of reviews on YouTube. Hopefully there's not a reason for that. This is a 7.5 horsepower air-cooled outboard motor. It is perfect for the 12-foot John boat that I have. From everything that I can read and comparing it to the Hankai 7 horsepower and I forget what the other motor was, but it'll get me going about 10 miles an hour in my boat, and that's good enough for me. So let's talk about it a little bit. There is, first off, maybe the reason there's only shorts on YouTube about this motor, and in those shorts, no one ever talks. They're just showing you the motor, and they're doing like a little, making it look really cool and nice, and they'll show it on the back of a boat riding, but no one ever talks, and this is probably why. When you see the actual owner's manual, it's in very broken English. Installation. To install the outboard, must ensure the ship in good balance. Other wishy will cause ship to deviate route. Hard to control driving direction for the ship. The outboard center line should be aligned with the center line of ship. Okay, yeah, I mean, you'll be able to make your way through it, but when it comes to actually what you need to do, especially putting the lube oil in at the bottom, that was a nightmare. So the oil on the Hankai, where's it at? Right here. So the oil on the Hankai was right here. The oil for this is right here. So pretty similar there. This takes a lot more oil. Obviously, it's a little bigger engine. But you just put your oil in there. What did I put? Yeah, I put the 4-stroke 10W30, and I think I ended up with the Pennzoil because they didn't have any more of this at Walmart. So this is the 4-stroke 10W30 marine engine oil. So I put that in there. Gas, I went ahead and purchased the mid-tier gas because that's what it tells you to get for this outboard. So whatever gas station, I just got whatever the middle grade gas is, using that in here. And what else? Okay, so the biggest difference about this motor, no, we're not gonna have a chance to take it on the water, unfortunately, today, but I will start it up. So the biggest difference is on the Hankai, it had a plastic prop, and in order to put the gear oil in here, you had to take the prop off, and then you had to use your Allen wrench and take this off. And so I thought immediately, oh, you must have to do the same thing because the instructions really don't tell you what you need to do. Not very well anyway. They do, but I'm definitely not good at reading broken English. So here's what you do. So this is the lube oil that I put in there. You know, it's just lube oil, lower unit lube oil. So I ended up taking the prop off. I was trying to take that off there, which is totally unnecessary because on this particular motor, you just need to take this off. This is your drain tube. This is where you fill it in. So yeah, it's really that easy. Now the problem is when you take this off, the hole is so small that there's no funnel to be able to put it in there. You know, and you can't just kind of pour the oil in. The hole is very, very small. It's about the size of that Allen wrench hole. Maybe even smaller, actually probably a little smaller than that. So what I decided to do is I went over to Myers, and this is just, you know, for you to put oil or water in for your Blackstone or an outdoor grill. But the hole is still too big, but it's big enough that it fits right over top of this, and I could just squeeze that right in there. Like I talked about the gas tank is right here. It does come with this kill switch. And there's not really much you have to do about that. This one here, this is the XP200. It does not have a reverse lever on there, so you would have to turn it all the way around to go backwards. It is really heavy though, compared to this. But yeah, it does have your, whatever this thing's called, you know, if you fall out of the boat, it'll turn off. And your gear shift. And here is your choke right here. Now on here, I don't know, I'll figure it out when I start it. I've only had this for about a week. So I'll figure it out when I start it. Also a big difference is you don't have the primer bulb coming from the gas tank on this one. It relies on the choke, and it does just start right up. When it gets warmer, I live in Ohio, so I'm not able to fish right now, so it's just going to sit right here until it's fishing time. So I think that's all I really did to have to set it up. It comes right out of the box, ready to go, just like the hang kai. There's nothing you have to put together, and that was important for me because I'm not very mechanically inclined. So I wanted to make sure it was all put together and that I could get it out, and it's just ready to go. Now, the styrofoam, I did have to clean the styrofoam. It had broken apart. It was all up in here. There might even still be a few pieces up in there. There'll be more follow-up videos here in a month, but if you're on the fence about whether or not to get it, it was on sale when I got this. If you're on the fence about whether or not to get a small outboard for your boat, and if you're considering the 4 horsepower hang kai, this was $150 more. And for 3.5 more horsepower, this should get me, from all the videos I was watching and other videos of light engines, you know, 7 horsepower engines, this should get my little 12 boat John boat up to about 10 miles an hour. Okay, so I don't want to do too much here, but right now the choke is out, so I think this one you got to let it run a little bit. That one you can just kind of rev right up, and this one does actually have an idle on there, so the prop isn't moving right now. There we go. Turn it all the way back down. So here's your kill switch. You just would press that in right there. And we're off. So like I said, yeah, I mean, it starts right up. You do kind of have to let it sit there after you've started it up and it's cold start. You got to let it just kind of sit and run for a second before you can just shift it straight into gear. With that little guy, I mean, you could just kind of crank it and it would just go. And that thing's 2 years old now, so and it's still going strong. But I just feel like these are very similar. You know, you can't tell me that Cukusin or Cukusin is that much different than a hang kai. I'm willing to take that chance. So, and I know that there aren't any videos on YouTube right now about this specific motor. So here's mine, and I will do a follow-up here in probably about a month and a half or so. It is the middle of February, so I'll be out fishing again in about a month and a half. So yeah, look forward to that video. And if you appreciate the content, you like what you saw, then leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.